Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. This video is going to be a little different because today I'm not talking about video games, I'm talking about comic books. This all came about because my son had asked my husband and I to take him to the comic book store, and I was all for it. You know, my son isn't really big into reading, so I figured if we get him something that he really enjoys, something that he wants to read, then he'll really get into reading. And so far that's worked. We took him to the comic book store and we were there for like an hour. We had amazing conversations with some of the customers in the store and the manager and another gentleman that worked there. But I got to browsing and I found a few things that I really liked. So I figured, you know, since I've read through these comics, I'll share my impressions with you guys. And if you guys are interested, I'll continue to do this here. So the first comic here is a single issue. It's Archie. Archie, #1. This is basically a revamp of Archie comics, which I think is awesome. I'm kind of out of the loop. I have no clue what's gone on with Archie since like 1992 up until now. I'm pretty sure it's the same type of deal, but I read through this and I really enjoyed it. It was good stuff. First of all, the art is amazing. Awesome art. But the story was really cool. You know, Archie kind of seems like a more mature Archie. Actually, all the characters seem like they're more mature. Even though this is still set in Riverdale, and they still are high school students, they seem a bit more mature and they're not as goofy as they used to be, which as an adult is a lot more refreshing. But really good story so far. It kind of left me wanting more. Like, I want issue 2 to come out already, but that won't be out until August. So I'm looking forward to picking up these single issues of the new revamped Archie comics. I'm really pleased with this. So the first trade that I picked up, I don't know why I picked it up. It must have been the cover, but the cover art is just so cool. It's Hawkeye, Volume 1, My Life as a Weapon. So I picked it up. I don't know what it was. It might have been just the colors, the purple, the black, and the white. I don't know. It was just something. I picked it up and the manager was like, buy it. He was like, it's an awesome series. He said a lot of females that really aren't into superheroes seem to like it as well. And he was like, it's just a great series. So, you know, I bought it. I brought it home. And I read through it in like an hour. And my gosh, he was right. This is basically a collection of the first 5 single issues in the Hawkeye series. And I didn't know anything about Hawkeye. I knew that he was a part of the Avengers, but other than that, I didn't know any, and that he has a bow and arrow. But other than that, I didn't know anything about him. But this is really interesting because it's basically Hawkeye when he's not with the Avengers. His real name is Clint Barton, I'm sorry, excuse me. And he's just a really cool guy. Like, I like him as a character. The more I read Hawkeye stuff, the more he becomes one of my favorite superheroes, which is strange. But it's a really good read. I found myself laughing a lot. He's a cool character. He really is. He's so laid back. You know, he's sarcastic. He helps people out, of course. But he always seems to find himself in the worst predicaments, which I find so interesting. So I'm really digging this new series. It also has the female version of Hawkeye. Her name is Kate Bishop. She's in here as well. So yeah, I'm interested in this, guys. Really good read, and the artwork is fantastic. While we were at the comic book shop, my son was mostly interested in Batman and Superman comics. So the manager actually gave him some recommendations. And the one recommendation that he gave him, I actually bought for my son because it was a little pricey. It's Batman: The Long Halloween. This is a standalone graphic novel, which is so good. This is the first Batman comic that I've ever read, and after reading through it, I really want more of it. I won't give away any of the story because I feel like people should actually read it, especially, I mean, if you like Batman, you've probably already read this book, but it's basically a murder mystery that takes place on Halloween, and it lasts throughout a year, which is crazy, or just about a year. But wow, I was on the edge, like reading this comic, trying to figure out what was going on, like who could have possibly done this. Towards the end of the book, I started figuring out what was going on, but it's a really good read. Joker's in there, Harvey Dent's in there. You got some other characters in here as well. It's pretty hefty. It's a big graphic novel, lots to read, with beautiful artwork, and the quality of the book is good as well. Man, it's just a really good read. Like, honestly, like I said, I want to seek out more Batman graphic novels. I really do, because I was thoroughly impressed with this. So, you know, I might be heading on Amazon really soon to, you know, try to find some recommendations for some other good Batman graphic novels and comics. The last comic I'm going to share with you guys, I recently purchased off of Amazon for like $4, which I think is a steal. Southern Bastards. It's put out by Image Comics, and out of all of the comics that I've recently read, this has to be my favorite. Just because I didn't know what to expect. The cover art alone totally just, I don't know, it piqued my interest. I read through it, and right when I was done, I ordered the second volume. Like I did, I couldn't help it. But yeah, this is the first volume. It's called Here Was a Man. And I definitely don't want to give away any of this story. But it's basically an older gentleman who left his hometown in Alabama. He went away at war, and he had a dad, and he didn't really like his dad, so he never came back home. But his dad passed away, and he came back to Alabama, to his hometown, and shit's hit the fan, basically. I mean, that's as much as I can say without giving away too much of the story. It reminds me of the movie that The Rock was in. I think that was a remake. It's called Walking Tall. Totally reminds me of this comic, guys, honestly. The art is fantastic. It's pretty grotesque. Some parts are pretty grotesque, but the quality of the artwork is there. I mean, I read through it a second time, honestly. So Southern Bastards is my jam. I mean, I can't say anything else. It's my jam. I love this series. So I'm going to get through the second volume, and then I'll probably go back and pick up the single issues just because I want to know what's going on with this story. Once I'm done with a couple of other comics, I'll come back and I'll give you my impressions on those as well if you guys are interested. A few of those comics are digital. I haven't actually decided if I'm going to go digital or physical as far as comic books go. I haven't made up my mind yet, but I'm having a lot of fun reading comics. Let me know, guys, what comics you enjoy reading. Definitely have an open mind as far as trying to explore different, you know, types of comics. So I want to thank all of you guys for watching this video, and I'll check you next time.